a follow-up to the previous video on grace. If we read Colossians chapter 3, and it tells us that we have been these things of evil. He says to mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, for which things' sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience, in the which ye also walked sometime and lived in them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. Now look up all of these words. Look them up and see what they mean. Man, we truly do have lived unto some very vile things in our flesh. And truly, as let us learn something from some very spiritual people that have lived unto the great spirit in the sky, because they have wisdom beyond. I mean, it is, and I can't say beyond comprehension, because everything that the Navajos, the Indian, the ingenious people lived by, until the white man came in and defiled him. But listen, this is excellent.
The season right now is wintertime. We've had the first frost before the lightning return. We can share winter stories. The winter stories, as told during this particular season, is actually the beauty wave. Winter worker, also the opposite in that in ceremonial settings. We have also winter, which is the not good way. In our language, we have words that there are no words for, as far as I know, in other languages. Just like there are some words that we don't have that are used in other languages. But the word, which one is most times interpreted to mean evil. There is something evil as far as what people understand, but in the traditional teachings of our Diné, there is something that is worse than evil. And that particular evil is to have something presented to you that you would think is true and good and right, but in trying to comprehend it, and when you finally understand it, you find out that it is a big lie, that it is not true in any way, in any sense. It does not have order. And so in our language, when we say which one, is that it cannot just be evil, it is greater than evil. When we hear the coyote story, many people only see it as cute little stories of furry animals and doing cute and funny things. But that's just as we understand it on the surface, as it's told to younger children. And the greater part of the story is beyond that. For example, the trotting coyote story of the creation of the universe and the stars that we see. In the trotting coyote story, we are told that the holy people were sitting in this large hogan, and they were taking the time as they took one single star and they would place it in absolutely a perfect position. They were setting out these stars to guide the five-fingered being as they lived on earth, and to be always to be able to find the path, the correct path. And so all these lights of stars were put into the proper order, and it was taking a lot of time. Coyote, on the other hand, is very impatient, and he gets past the door guard, and he runs in and he grabs a basket of stars and he spins around with it, and he says, "Why don't you just do this?" And so today we have the Milky Way where the coyote spun with the basket of stars. He created this disorder of what the holy people were trying to do by placing stars of light. These lights are symbolic of light of truth. And when we say it, we say, and those mean that we receive the light. We are given the light, and we receive the light. And so those are the truths that we refer to in the traditional teachings of the coyote stories and the placing of the stars in their proper order, and where there was harmony and beauty, and the way that they were set out. And it is that truth is compatible, because it comes from one place only, and that is from the holy people. And you cannot change it. You cannot make it any different than what it is. It is as it is, and there are many of them. And when you look out into the universe, you see all these different lights, and that's like the truth that are available. There are many, many truths, and these truths are not only for today, but they have been for the past, and they will be for the future. They are always there, these lights of truth. As a five-fingered being, it is our responsibility and our duty actually to find these truths and to understand that there are evil that masquerade as truth, greater than evil, and it is the misdirection. We listen to the wrong direction. It is in the traditional teachings of the Neh. When we listen to all of the different coyote stories, it is that he thinks of himself as the most important, and that he is the only one that matters. And so those are the wrong ways to think of self. And integrity, on the other hand, is very important. It is having a spiritual way of doing things, and having a spiritual understanding of things, and to have them in your emotion and in your mind, in your thought, and then how you respond to outside as your behavior. Your behavior are the things that you think, the things that you do, and those are your behavior, and your character is viewed by the things that you do. And our language of our people, they say it, the neh which is the best that a person can be, is the way that we should be. This is a person that lives by great values and great principles of truth. I've come across some very, very good people, and their character, and the way that they did things. When you look at the good that they are, the good that they do, you can recognize their goodness. And comparing it to the way you do things, and you think it to yourself, it's impossible to be that good. Because it takes every moment and every hour of the day, and year after year, to be able to live in that way, to not be an angry person in any way, to be constantly the lover of truth. And so the idea that this is impossible to be that good, it is something that takes a lifetime. And the good people that I have come to know, they'll always be of influence to me. And so the teaching of our people is that don't do like Coyote does. Don't do the things that he does for himself. Coyote is really symbolic of us, the five-fingered being, as the worst that we can be. We are the ones that cause disorder in our life. We're the ones that create ugliness in our life by doing the things that are not good. Just as the coyote created the disorder by just throwing the stars into the sky. In the early teachings, I understood, the worst thing you could call another person was Mahi Nodnen, and that means the one that looks like a coyote, or the one that is the coyote. And so that was the worst thing you could be called. The traditional teaching is that as you trot through your life, as you journey through life, that you find truth. And it is not easy. It's not something that is just available anywhere. Sometimes your search is very extensive and it's a complete lifetime. But nonetheless, they are there. And so, which order, and so all these are ceremonies that people can view. If you go to the Squat Lodge, talk about which who's going there or who's going there or not, which is life ways. Life ways is to learn how to be of good character and to understand that there is such a thing as being very good, very humble, very prayerful, very spiritual, and there is also the possibilities of being able to love all things, the vegetation, insect, birds, and animals, and the things in your environment, and to be able to love people even though that they may be very corrupt. And the teachings of our people are very extensive in that way, and those are the things that we're told.
And as we are told in the great book, the Word of God, who is Jesus Christ, to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. Have a blessed day.